And so those who have things to offer are saying, okay, if that is the case, let me take care of myself. So I don't think they are wrong to ask for restructure. Otherwise, one Nigeria is a good thing.
So you are in support of restructuring
because
this
of the oppression,
country?
if that will make us or give us the privilege to have peace, because everybody wants to have peace. Now, if nothing is done to stop what is going on right now, that is the oppression of certain parts of Nigeria because you're in power. If nothing is done, a time is going to come when these regions will explode and it will lead to bloodshed, which we don't need anymore. I was there during the Nigerian Civil War. What happened was not good, both physically, and the films and the videos and the pictures we saw in those days were not good. We don't need it anymore.
We don't need it anymore.
Yeah.
That's a word from the bishop. Well, we'll go on a short break. We'll be right back. Don't go anywhere. It's good to have you back. Bishop Dr. Sam Richard is my name, President, Ministers and Ambassadors for Peace in Niger Delta, and the President Bishop Souls Ablaze Ministry International. We are here discussing on the cause and the cure to the Niger Delta crisis. And we have a great man of God who has been giving us a lot of points on what to do to move this region forward and to stop the bloodshed and the crisis. What is your advice to the governors of Niger Delta states, Edo, Delta, Bayelsa, Rivers, Akwa Ibom, Cross River, Abia, Imo, Ondo? What is your advice?
Well, it's unfortunate that most of these governors travel and they come back and pretend as if they've not seen any development anywhere. In my opinion, I would have thought that as they travel abroad, they should copy some stuff and try to implement them in their regions to change the lifestyle of the people while they're in power. And that is what they'll be remembered for, because they are not going to be in power forever, maybe 4 years or 8 years. If in your 8 years in office or 4 years in office, the life of your people is not impacted, you could answer any title, it doesn't really matter. What matters most is while you're in power, the life of your people is affected. But the fact is, they come into office and think it's their personal property and they want to invest on themselves and their children. Well, I wish them all the best, because these children are going to mix with my children. And the time is going to come in this country that the children of those governors or government or leaders are going to have difficulty, because I used to tell my friend when we were growing up, Archbishop Hansen, I said, our name are the passports our children are going to use in their lifetime. If you don't have a good name, your children have no passport to use in their life. Maintain a good name, because wherever your children enter, when they said, my father is Samuel Richard, if he was a bad man, the door is closed. If he's a good man, they say, oh, Samuel Richard, come in. That's it. Now, if you're a good governor, you are doing yourself a favor. And not only yourself, your lineage, your tribe, your descendants will benefit from it. But if you think because you're in power, you sit on the people, you make law that is against the people, and then you don't develop the environment you live in, you are wasting your time. It's 4 years or 8 years. We shall meet at the gas station one day.
All right. Lordship, please, what is your advice to young Niger Delta ministers? In a minute, what is your advice to them?
Well, my advice to young ministers in the Niger Delta is very simple. The quest for quick riches and prosperity is a waste of time. You cannot plant a crop in the farm and expect the harvest in 2 days. When I was a child, we used to plant corn. And because of our anxiety and the quick expectation, every morning you go and scratch the ground to see whether the crop is growing. I don't know if you did that.
Yes, sir.
Now, some days you come in the morning, as you are scratching
you break the
that is coming up, you just break the head. Oh, and you lost it. But you may be patient for a while and think you have made it. There is no man that succeeded in life without a successor. Elijah had Elisha. The ministry of Elisha became more powerful than the ministry of Elijah because he learned under Elijah. Gehazi could not learn under Elisha because he wanted quick success. His ministry ended. Everything about him ended. But even when Elisha died, his dead bones revived a dead body. Meaning that every minister that is not willing to learn from existing ministers is not going too far. If you want to succeed, you have to learn from others. Number one, no matter how much vision God has given you, As a matter of fact, when God gives you vision, you need a visionary that had a vision similar to your vision to understudy or to learn under. Otherwise, you're not going far in life. Today we have pastors. You can have in a family of 10, 5 pastors, and every pastor having his own ministry. Why? Because they want to be general overseer. Is that something special about general overseer? And they struggle all through their lives. Some may go beyond that to put their hands into evil, bringing occultic practice into the church. The truth remains
Which will
that
affect them and their generation.
Because whatever a man sows, that he shall reap. You may get quick power today, get quick attention. People may follow you, give you money, you drive big cars, but you're not going to last.
And have the largest crowd in the whole world.
And you're not going to last. And then it will not only end at not lasting, your generations will pay for it.
So be patient. Be patient. As a young minister, be patient. His Lordship knew when we started our ministry. In the primary school, we do night vigil almost every day. And it is not surprising what God have done for us today. It was because we got ourselves committed to prayer and patiently follow the Lord. I want you to learn from His Lordship. He is a seasoned minister from Niger Delta. When men like this speak, you must listen. Finally, ministers and ambassadors for peace in Niger Delta is in the business of propagating peace in this region. What is your advice to other ministers? Do you think it's worthwhile joining forces together to preach peace in this region?
The Bible said, follow peace with all men and holiness, without which no man shall see the Lord. For us to succeed in ministry, primarily, peace is very necessary. If you look at the book of Psalms 133, it talks about peace and what it brings. The result of peace is blessing and fruitfulness. When there is peace in the land, we are bound to succeed in everything we do. Number one. Number two, when we work together as a team, we are bound to succeed. Now, if people are able to understand the vision of ministers for peace in Nigeria and Niger Delta, if the vision is made plain, I'm sure they will join. Today, what I've seen in ministry is that most people want to be bosses of themselves. They don't care about who is a leader or not. Everybody wants to be a leader. But those whom God has ordained for this project certainly will join.